my machine! And why did you come?
I'm afraid it's kind of hard to explain, sir.
Well, I think you had better try.
Well, I was doing my chores, but I got tired of doing my chores. So I went for a walk in the woods near my home, and then suddenly I was here.
Well, I'm afraid you will have to look elsewhere.
It really is a fascinating machine.
Well, a long time ago, it made stories.
Stories?
Not just ordinary stories, but special stories with morals.
What are morals?
I'm afraid that's not easy to answer. Actually, the machine can't make stories anymore. It's missing a very important part.
Can't you buy a new part?
I ordered one, but it hasn't come yet. I wonder what could be holding it up.
When did you order it?
Let's see, come last November, 2,000 years ago.
Wait, what?
The mails are a bit slow these days.
Excuse me for asking, sir, but how old are you?
2,439. Yes, well, I enjoyed a little chat, but I'm afraid it's time for you to go.
Can't I stay just a little longer?
I'm afraid we don't ordinarily allow visitors here. Did you tell me your name?
Monroe. It was a pleasure to meet you, Mr.
Aesop. Aloysius A. Aesop.
It was nice to meet you, Mr. Aesop. I'm sorry I came without being invited.
It was an honest mistake, I'm sure.
Yes, well, it's easy to make an honest mistake, but it is not a mistake being honest. Goodbye.
Wait!
Yes, Mr. Aesop?
Could you say that part again? The part about being honest?
It's easy to make an honest mistake, but it's not a mistake being honest.
That, Monroe, is a moral!
It is?
If you were to listen closely to a narrative, do you suppose you could illustrate its intent?
Huh?
If you were to hear a tale, do you think you could tag it with the truth?
What?
If I tell you a story, can you tell me what it means?
I guess.
Then we'll put you to the test. We've all heard of Aesop's fables, packed full of meanings and morals.
But there's more to Aesop's fables than meets the eye.
The fabulous Fable Factory makes amazing fables using the magical Fable Machine!
But there's one part missing, and Monroe can fill that missing part.
But Monroe is faced with his own moral decision. Does he stay with the Fable Factory and miss out on the rest of life?
Or does he live his life, taking all the opportunities with it? Join us and let the fabulous Fable Factory
by Joseph Robinette
and Thomas Tierney begin!
The Country Mouse and the City Mouse.
A city mouse
once received
a letter from his cousin in the country.
Dear Cousin Reginald, why don't you just pack up sometime and come out here for a visit in the country? We'd sure love to have you. Rarely yours, Milty.
Ah, well, that's very nice of him. The country isn't always well educated, but it's certainly well ventilated, and I could use some fresh air. Yes, I will visit my cousin, Milty Mouse.
Good day, Milty. Awful nice to see you.
The feeling's mutual, I'm sure.
Huh?
It's good to see you, too.
The Country Mouse had little to offer, but he gave freely of his meager food.
What is this?
How many grits and rug butter jam?
And what's this?
Buttermilk and turnip greens.
And what's that?
Ooh, pig's feet and possum's pie.
I do not wish to offend you, Cousin Milty, but how do you put up with such awful food in such a dilapidated house? Come with me, and I will show you the way to live. Once you've been in the city for a week, you'll never want to return to the country again. They arrive late at night. You want some refreshments after a long journey?
My goodness gracious, look at all that food. I ain't never...
I haven't ever. What in the city, you know?
haven't ever seen a spread like this before in my life. Ooh, what's this?
Chocolates.
Man, what's this?
Champagne.
Man, what's this?
It's the cats!
Man! Meow!
After the long chase, the mice found a hole. And the cats went away.
Cousin Reginald, I really...
Well, leaving so soon?
Yeah, I think I've seen about all the city. I need to see.
So Milty waved goodbye to his cousin and was off to the country again.
Ooh, howdy, old country home. It's sure good to be back. I think I'll celebrate with a nice plate of turnip greens and possum's pie. Well, Monroe, what did you think?
It was a very interesting story.
What I meant by that was, did you learn anything from what you just saw?
I sure did. I learned the machine can also act out stories.
What I meant by that was, what did the story really mean?
Oh, well, there's just one thing better than leaving home, and that's coming back again.
That's not bad. Monroe, I'm going to let you in on something. I'm going to let you in on something very few people know about. I'm going to show you how the Fable Factory operates. Are you interested?
Am I interested? That means Niso Grubo double plus Kino.
Very well then, a long time ago. Double plus Kino. A long time ago, the Fable Factory did make fables, but it's missing a very important part. The maker of our morals, which we need so desperately.
But, Mr. Aesop, why do you need a moral maker? Can't you have a fable without a moral?
I'm afraid not. You see, the moral is what makes a story become a fable. And if we had a moral maker, then we could go back into operation as we were years ago. Monroe, you could stay and become our moral maker, but there are a few things you should know. You see, the Fable Factory is sort of magical. It moves in time and space. Today we are here, but tomorrow, who knows? We may be thousands of miles away, maybe even in another country.
Wow.
That, Monroe, is why you must consider your decision very carefully.
Gosh, I want to stay, but I know I'd miss home. And my family, even my chores. I don't know what to do.
Well, Monroe, you still have a few moments to decide. Why don't I read this last fable to you? Perhaps it will help you make up your mind. Come along then, we haven't much time. The ants and the grasshopper.
An ant
And a grasshopper.
once set out
To see the world. Before long, they came to a nice, comfortable meadow.
where they rested for a few days.
There, that should do it. Come along, Mrs. Grasshopper. Time to continue our journey.
Mr. Ant, I've decided to stay here. There's no other place on Earth so delightful.
But we've made plans. We have places to be, things to do.
It's easier staying right here.
Very well. Then I shall go alone.
Mr. Ant, just remember, when you're walking those long miles, climbing those steep mountains, and crossing those wide rivers, I'll be right here enjoying the summer breezes. Delightful. So the diligent ant continued his journey. While the grasshopper stayed in the meadow.
Paris is perfect this time of year. I certainly do wish that you were here, Mr. Ant.
Paris? How'd he get to, like, Paris? And why's he sorry I'm here? It's delightful. Oh, a coconut with a message.
Having a wonderful time in the Hawaii sun. Too bad you aren't here. Sharing the fun.
Hawaii, now that settles it. I'm going to see the world after all. Oh, but I'll never be able to catch up with Mr. Ant. Oh well, the meadow's still nice, but Paris and Hawaii, I bet they aren't just nice, I bet they're delightful.
So there the grasshopper stayed, wondering what would have happened had she done all those things she should have done. Time for the moral, Monroe.
Why don't you make the moral for this one, Aesop?
Very well, but I think you know what it is.
I think I do.
Monroe decided not to stay at the fabulous Fable Factory.
But he took this last moral to heart, living his life to the fullest and not putting his wishes off until tomorrow.
If a man wants to wait for tomorrow,
To begin what he wished for today,
his tomorrow will come.
with his wish still undone,
For his chance was yesterday.